And immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. Having dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone, but the boat was already many stadia from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. Then in the fourth watch of the night he came to them walking on the sea. But the disciples, seeing him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying that it is a ghost, and out of fear they cried out. Then immediately he spoke to them, saying, "Have courage, I am, do not fear." Then answering him, Peter said, "Lord, if it is you, order me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." And having gone down from the boat, Peter walked on the water and came to Jesus. Seeing then the strong wind, he feared. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately stretching out his hand, caught him and says to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" And going up into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel reading from the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 up to 33. It is about the walking of Jesus on the water. Gospel reading for the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. In the first verses, we have many temporary indications to understand the whole situation. First, that he dismissed the crowd before the sunset, because then later on he went up on the mountain by himself, and when he came there, the evening came and he was there alone. And at the same time, I stated that the boat was already many states, that the word in Greek in plural stadia indicates quite substantial distance. Of course, it is translated in so many ways, but the more important is that in spite of the distance, the disciples were struggling with reaching the land, and then Jesus is coming to them in the fourth watch of the night, so it's between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So in other words, we could think that they probably spent around 9 hours fighting with the wind and they still didn't reach the destination. Why, if the weather were good, maybe they would need just 2 or 3 hours. Then there are the same words like in the last Sunday, which I translated them. They are coming from those words of the same root, translated them in the same way. That out of fear they cried out. Then Jesus tells to them, "Do not fear." And then about Peter, when he saw strong wind, he feared. And Jesus is encouraging them, and the expression saying, "I am, do not fear." This "I am," it translates the Hebrew proper name. In Greek, it sounds like this, and most probably the apostles also could understand in this way, because then Peter addressing him Lord. Of course, some may say that the Lord is generic term, but I would prefer it also to see it in that way, that this word Lord in Greek translates also the Hebrew word explicitly the substitution of reading the proper name of God with the same meaning. And then it is repeated yet second time by Peter, "Lord, save me." And then it concludes with the statement that they worship him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." But now let me stress yet the reaction of Jesus when he says to Peter, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" This expression, "you of little faith," appear 4 times in the Gospel according to Matthew and once only in Luke and no else in the New Testament. In particular, it refers just to the disciples. I'm just would like to recall one of those similar texts in chapter 8 when Jesus is calming the storm. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and they came, and there was a great calm. Concerning the expression that I have translated as worship him, the Greek verb proskuneo can be translated as worship, do reverence, if it has as an object the divinity, or prostrate oneself or bow down in front of any other person. This verb appears several times in the Gospel according to Matthew. The first time when the wise men are coming to visit newly born Jesus. So then they are stating, "For we observed his star at its rising, and we have come to worship him." Then, during the temptations, firstly, the Satan wants Jesus to fall down in front of him and to worship him. So Jesus answers to him, quoting from the scripture, "Away with you, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." And yet another text, this is now from the healing story of cleansing of a leper. "And behold, the leper came to him and worshipped him," some translate, "knelt before him, bowed down to him, saying, 'Lord, if you will, you can make me clean.'" I prefer to translate even in that case in the sense as worship, because this leper for sure recognizes in Jesus not just only a human person, but somebody who has a divine power. And that the line of interpretation as divine power we can see in our text strongly highlighted. Just as I started with this expression "I am," which translates the proper name of God, then the word Lord, which appears 2 times, and when they worship him, then they say, "Truly you are the Son of God." So in this way, the apostles recognize in this miracle that Jesus is not only human, but he is divine. He is the Son of God. I would like to wish you a nice day, a nice reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.